Life with God is so good.
So come join us on this fun life where we put God in the center of everything. Hey everybody, we'd like to welcome you to the show. This is Life with Gwen and Joe. This is my beautiful wife Gwen, and we're here on another beautiful day in Tennessee. And today we're going to talk about empathy and compassion.
Now, we were talking earlier, and just that this launch of this basic ministry has been on the compassion, the spiritual compassion, where a lot of the world sees the physical, but somehow, some way, God had me see the needs that could all be fixed if they just had the truth. The truth sets you free. And so all these people were out there that were hurting, spiritually, and they couldn't hear the truth. The truth wasn't out there. So it launched the ministry of Way Down, telling people that you're trying the wrong medicine for your overweight condition. You keep trying the same medicine over and over, so then you start feeling horrible about yourself. And that gave me so much compassion and empathy. Therein lies the beginning of Way Down. And since then, it's been trying to just tell people the truth about what to be compassionate about and empathetic for.
And you have this God-given inborn message that God put in your heart to kind of have an innate, profound understanding of the spiritual vacuum that existed, and you applied your whole teachings based on that principle.
And you got it too. I've never really ever come across.
The cats are playing.
And I'm not empathetic to that.
The cat's
taking over our show, not I.
The cats always try to upstage us. They caught a mouse outside like 10 minutes ago.
That's
and
right, just showing off, see?
Anyway, they had no compassion for that mouse, I'll tell you that right now.
Yeah, well, they have no compassion for this show, messing it up.
See that?
See?
Upstaged by a cat.
Okay, let's start with some of the scriptures are just literally full of compassion and empathy. And so let's see what the Bible has to say.
1 Peter 3:8, it says, "Finally, all of you, live in harmony with one another. Be sympathetic, love as brothers, be compassionate and humble."
Okay, so one of the other things that I felt like God showed me was that people were overly compassionate about the wrong thing. So all this dispensation of energy, is all used up on the wrong thing. But if we funneled our energy toward the compassion of the spiritual, this void, this lack of knowledge, which would lead to people being set free from this incredible slavery. I don't think people see that the world's bound up in a slavery of all these things. And when you fix that, then it automatically fixes everything else. It's incredible how all of a sudden the finances are right, and the relationships are right, and then their jobs are right, and then there's no depression, so the mental's right, and then the body's healed, so everything. It was just to me it was like so logical, to go and send these people toward God, and then it just worked just like that. And so it's been frustrating to me to see the amount of funds and money. If the amount of funds and money that we spent collecting all this money and then just sending it out randomly was used for getting this truth out, then it would be an incredible.
And to further that, we were talking earlier, and how you said it actually kind of robs God of getting the credit, right? Right. I would love to hear that again, because it makes so much sense, darling.
Well, it's a huge passion of mine that God's church has been robbed, because people are going and sending all this money. The credit will go to the Peace Corps, the credit goes to the United States, or the credit goes over here, and yet the credit should be going to God's church. God is the one that is the one telling us how to act, and the Good Samaritan and all that kind of stuff. But if you'll notice also that if you also rob God's church when you've got this church collecting all this money, it sends it all out, but there's no compassion inside the church for the very people inside the church, and they're dying on the vine. So God's church looks like unattractive, and the world looks more attractive. And so that completely robs God and Jesus Christ of what they started, because all these ideas came from Christ and from God.
1 Corinthians 12:25 and 26 says, "So that there should be no division in the body, but that its parts should have equal concern for each other. If one part suffers, every part suffers with it. If one part is honored, every part rejoices with it." And I think that's beautiful.
It is beautiful. So again, if you'll notice that all the scriptures, if you go back and reread them all, it's going to be talking about the church. So what's interesting is Paul and Christ, and what they were doing was building this institution that would be such a magnet that people would be drawn to it, so that they then would come in, it would give the credit to God, and then the people would find God. And you didn't just hand them a fish, you taught them how to fish. So then, because once you get to God and you get to answer prayers, then their whole life, you get that family in order, then you go get the next family. So it wasn't like an institution where it's like bringing in so many people, or it's all about evangelism, and then you get them in and then you churn it and get the next set of people and the next set of people, and people are church hopping and all this kind of stuff. It's truly built slowly, where one person at a time is in their family is totally taken care of, and then once they're up and on their feet, then the next family can be helped. So it's a different approach, and then God's church looks good. When you come in to see it, you realize this is a very different place, and wow, I'd like to be a part of that. So it's again a magnet that brings people in, and then God gets the credit. Very different, a very different approach, and it's proved to be fruitful.
And the fruit of this church is unlike anything I've ever seen in my life. I'm so proud of it. The church body of people are the most amazing Spirit-led people I've ever seen. Colossians 3:12, "Therefore, as God's chosen people, holy and dearly loved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, gentleness, and patience."
So there it is, God's chosen people.
Yes, ma'am.
And then they're dearly loved, so the community starts seeing them as the people inside of it are taken care of, instead of the people inside are neglected and hurting, or asked to pass the hat, when they themselves are still hurting, which was something that was very, very concerning to me, because it was hard on me when I was younger.
Philippians 2:3 and 4, "Do nothing out of selfish ambition or vain conceit, but in humility consider others better than yourselves. Each of you should look not only to your own interests, but also to the interests of others."
So you're not in this fellowship where you're just looking to your own needs, and you're literally considering others better than yourself. I mean, and any kind of, you're going to have to sit and contemplate that, because our flesh is going to consider what we want to do, where we want to eat, where we want to go, how we want to spend the money. I mean, I've seen marriages where people fight over the money and how it's spent, and that's sad. I mean, that ruins marriages. You need to be thinking of others and thinking of what they want. And when you both have that attitude, then it's beautiful, and it just makes for something so peaceful.
That is a very interesting topic, and one that I personally, part of my testimony as a man, is easy to let the secular world overwhelm you to the point where you're either anxious, depressed, fearful, angry, whatever. And with your help and examples, I have realized, and I feel a little ashamed that it took me this long in my life to sometimes realize this, but when you're feeling those things, and it's a self-centered, a self-focused emotion or feeling, to be able to flip that and to put your attention outside of yourself and give is the key to breaking that spell.
Yeah, it's it.
And I feel so good that I at least can acknowledge that. That really is one of the amazing things about God's Spirit. If you can develop the spirit of giving while you're upset or while you're depressed or angry or any of those things that you might be feeling, if you can just say, I need to take this off myself and I need to go do something for someone, it literally fixes it.
It's beautiful.
Isn't that amazing?
It is beautiful.
You're beautiful.
No, you are.
You are.
See, it's a humble fight.
See that?
And
we don't disagree. Well, do we agree that we disagree?
We agree.
Okay, thank you.
What's fun is learning to agree on everything and not, I mean, it's talking about having compassion for just peace. Don't you know God wants us to have peace and to enjoy each other rather than to compete? And so I definitely, I love this life. I
so
love
thankful.
this life, and I love I have a true compassion for everyone having companions, and whether it's your best friend or marriage or just whoever you're with, I have a lot of empathy toward that. That's another whole life with Gwen and Joe, because that's another whole subject, you know.
And I have the best friend and the best companion in the whole wide world, and I thank God every day for that. There is a group of people in this room behind the camera,
Yes,
speaking of giving, that are here to help us shoot this show, and I just want to always acknowledge their efforts and let them know how much we appreciate all of their grace and all of their giving spirit. It's an amazing thing, and we're just very thankful for our crew here at Life with Gwen and Joe. Yeah,
definitely laying your life down.
Thank you.
Laying your life down for that. Okay, to sum up in conclusion to compassion and empathy. I feel like it's huge to know where to direct it and not have any expectations of getting anything back, but that you're doing this for God and His church, and to make sure you direct it primarily. It says in the Bible to help the brotherhood, and of course help everyone, but especially, it says in Galatians, especially those in the church. And the reason why is to make God's church look good, so that people can come in, so that they can not just get one-time help, but help for eternity. And that is a big difference. So
amen, darling. Beautiful. Beautiful.
They can get that truth that sets them free. So thanks for joining us.
Thank you, guys. We're honored that you're here with us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, ring the bell if you love our show. And we're just very honored and humbled that you'd spend this time with us. And Gwen and I would just like to say thank you, and we hope you all have a blessed day, and we will see you next time.
Next time.
Amen. Love y'all.
Bye.
Sit here.
Okay.
I want to see how much you trust me. Okay, now I want to see how much you trust me. I want to see, just relax. Oh! And, okay, now. Where's your faith, darling? Now, let me see. Just pray about this. Pray. Where's your faith, darling? Where's your faith? Now, let's go. Ho! Okay, you're not praying hard enough.
Don't be afraid of all church system persecution. I do believe we need a hallelujah revolution. Hallelujah. So hallelujah. Hallelujah. Revolution.
Be sure to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and click the bell so you are notified when we have a new video.